His pants got dirty real fast.
So Kyle says he's been on a bunch of different podcasts, and the way that they work them is they spend a little bit of time chit-chatting.
Yeah.
And then you get to a
cut
point.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You already know about that.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I watch podcasts or listen to.
Watch and listen?
Yeah.
You actually watch.
Sometimes if they're good, because a lot of podcasts will like high production value ones, like rich YouTubers. They'll have like a guy behind the camera with a computer. So if they ever want to pull up like reference photos or have something researched for the, like if you're not sure about something, make sure it's legitimate. Got a guy, and then they'll edit and put it up on the screen as well for you to see.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like you'd have to be rich to do that.
No, but I guess it's a different kind of podcast.
Different than what kind of podcast?
Purely audio.
Ah, right, because you got the visual, which is powerful. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I showed you Allison, right?
I don't think so.
I didn't introduce you to Allison?
I
It's a
feel
colleague.
like you said you were... Yeah, you were talking about her, but I don't... like, as we were talking about before, I've never met her.
So I get a lot of grief from her for using YouTube.
How so? Just morally against it?
I don't know what the doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, that's strange. Like she doesn't... YouTube specifically, not just like making videos.
Yeah, I think she's making fun of my age. I think because her dad uses YouTube.
I use YouTube.
Yeah, I know. But she's got this association between like old guy, her dad, and YouTube. And then there's me, who's also old guy, getting there.
Strange.
Yeah.
I mean, haven't met her, don't know her, but
I hope you get the
everyone uses
opportunity. I think
YouTube.
you guys would get along great.
Sure.
Okay, so what we're doing here feels to me like getting another instance of flow going. So for you, has this been a flowing day for you?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Pretty much?
Yeah.
Not too much.
The start was not very flowy, but I think it helped with the flow once I got out of bed, sleeping in.
Well, yeah. Yeah, getting out of bed, moving. Yeah, I heard Huberman refer to limbic friction.
I've heard of
I
it.
think he might have coined that term. I don't know. That's where I heard it.
Sure.
But yeah, like breaking the inertia, get the system going, and then by the time you were up, I was already in heavy flow. I was already well into the day's practice and the ecology of practices that I've been cultivating carefully with some other very careful practitioners, such as Kyle. All of the practice is really, really starting to compound. You've heard me say that before, where I can feel, it's like gear reduction type thing. It's like you get into the day and it's like, there's heavy duty flow. Yep. Which is awesome. I love it.
Power of habit.
Mm-hmm. So you and I right now are about to get into a conversation about Mirth Mission 7 and the theme. I had a few notes. So I wanted to use the fire starter. You and I talked about fire starter. So there's a 4th of July theme, fireworks.
Yep.
There's also a theme, on invitation. So this came up in dialogue with Kyle and Nina and I on Thursday evening this past week. So here's an instance of compounding. It's like bring that conversation into this conversation.
Right.
This dialogue, this dialogical practice, consciously, and there's get that compounding effect from that. It's like basically I'm invoking. When I say that out loud, I realize that that was a word that Kyle used in that particular dialogue, for example. What was invoked? What are you invoking? What did it evoke? So the theme, probably the main theme or the main evocation, what was evoked in that dialogue with the two of them on Thursday, well, with three of us, I guess I should say, was had to do with opening up in a manner that invites others in to play.
Yeah.
Okay. So that you just picked that up right away. It's easy for you. It makes sense to you.
Yeah, I mean, that's largely what socializing is, I feel like, just generally speaking. At least in my experience, I feel like in my life, I guess there's two things you can do when socializing is either making a space where you have to invite people in, or entering a space that's someone is inviting you to.
Yeah.
I would say I've had more experience with the latter in my life.
People inviting you into would you call it a cultivated space?
Cultivated as a connotation of intention. And when I talk about my life being 19, most of my social interactions have been throughout high school and earlier, where, I mean, it's just kids don't really know what they're doing, largely acting off of instinct. But definitely some were. I mean, I've joined clubs, and more kind of developed groups, I guess. Like you give some time to friend groups, and they start to become more cultivated as relationships are tested and people butt heads, and we see who works together and who really doesn't. So through just trial and error, you can call it cultivated.
Okay.
But from that, I would say I have learned a good bit about what, like, if we're trying to invite people in, we need to know what is a good way to invite people. And from my experience, I've found what is inviting and what isn't from groups that I've seen.
What are good ways to invite in and not good ways to invite in? Okay.
Yeah. I think one of the hardest pieces is the interest. Like, you have to get the hook. You've got to grab their attention immediately. Because if you don't grab their attention at the start, then they're going to just keep walking.
Okay, so that's really, really, really important, I think.
Yeah.
That is going to be the point for this dialogue, I think.
Okay.
Is that hook, because that's been one of the things that's been most contentious with me and Mr. Breen.
Right.
And it has to do with attraction rather than promotion.
Yeah.
So with that, you ready to go?
Yeah, let's do it.
So
go ahead.
So I'm going to try to weave 3 threads together in this.
Sure.
So the game here for me is the fire starter, 4th of July, fire, I'm already losing it. The hook, so you said grab the attention right away. And then there was I want to tie, notice the metaphor, tie the fire starter phenomena, tool, back to a dialogue that Kyle and I already had on economic models.
Okay.
So there's going to be, he's seriously working in a gift economy.
Sure.
And I'm seriously working in a commercial economy.
Okay.
And both are ultimately the same economy.
Right.
But the rules that apply are different. So I want to try to weave those three things together. Was that clearly three things? The hook,
The fire starter,
the fire starter, and
4th of July.
so gift economy in contrast with commercial economy.
Gotcha.
Okay. This is all in the context of Mirth Mission 7.
Right.
So I'm going to do the standard time
Yep.
binding thing
Cool.
where I'll do this is June 28th.
Yep.
Or this is the 28th day of June.
Just do it.
So that we keep,
Yep.
we're
Yep.
setting
Yep.
a cadence, establishing a rhythm.
I get it.
You get it. I know you get it. You've been practicing with me for a long time. So here we go. It's going to be 3, 2, 1. All right. So today is the 28th day of June 2025. Clock on the wall says that it is 14:36
It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon.
in the upper Snoqualmie Valley. And this is the run-up to Mirth Mission 7.
4th of July.
Independence Day. Yeah. So we want to open it up in a way that
Yeah.
invites others in.
We're bringing a lot of people. There will be bodies.
Oh, that sounds a little bit ominous. There will be bodies.
Well, yeah. People have said that they'll be in a location and that they're interested in listening to what we have to say. Whether or not they come into the space other than physically is the challenge that we're facing.
The challenge, and then the other challenge that we're facing here is to keep this tight so that we got the constraint. We're doing a constraints-led approach thing.
Yep.
Where we're going to confine ourselves to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And we're going to see how close we can hit that 10-minute mark.
Let's do it fast.
And we got to get to the point
Yep.
with enough time to tie up any loose ends and put a bow on it.
So what I think at least one key to engaging people, once you have, getting their attention, getting them invested in whatever's happening, I think is with flashiness. And 4th of July is a wonderful opportunity for that. There's plenty of options we have to choose from in the traditional sense.
Please tell me more.
So we have fireworks, obviously. And what goes with 4th of July activities, and as well as Mirth itself, is a fire cooked food over a big bonfire.
How big?
Above your head.
Really?
I'd like to. We've done it before. At least I guess I was little. I was shorter before, but I always imagine them being absolutely ginormous. So
They can be.
I like to.
Yeah, you could burn some full-on stumps or something maybe.
Would be cool.
Probably won't be burning any stumps.
But to get something that big, you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, it all starts with just a spark, huh?
Yep.
The spark. So let me pause.
Sure.
And you've already done some careful pre-planning, and we're going to iterate, it sounds like, on the Festival of Smash.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mentioned it to Daniel and Gavin, and they were very curious as to what, because I mystified it as much as I can.
So
Like,
those two alders are there that we strategically placed,
Yep.
right? Okay, so that's all teed up, ready to go, almost. We got to see if we can get the saws going today.
Right.
And then, how are we going to keep them safe? Like reasonably, like we can't. There's no mitigating all
Yeah,
this,
I mean, yeah, we're working with axes, blades.
I love it.
But I think I'll go back to, well, I think a lot of this relates to flashiness as well, and engaging is the shock factor. So I think one good example is, I mean, just on myself, is the axe wound I have in my shin that stopped me from feeling anything on this little area of skin right here. And it's these are actually the pants I'm wearing.
Yeah. So you,
So beer is
fear.
a good motivator.
It definitely is.
And past that, I think very clear rules to what the Festival of Smash is. Like, we don't want people chopping at each other, so we can set it up so that people are moving in different directions.
Yeah.
And be clear about what we're doing, and then past that, it's just very careful supervision.
Yeah. Yeah. So monitoring by so we can invite the what do you guys call them in video games, the NPCs,
Sure.
It's
an endearing term.
Well, they're not playing. It's like, I don't think that we got enough for more than 2 axes going at once.
Sure.
Maybe we could, but the point is that there's going to be some spectators.
Yeah.
And you can invite those spectators into a participatory role,
Right.
which affords a participatory knowing
Yep.
in the festival.
Yeah.
To watch for egregious deviations from the prescribed safety
Precautions.
protocols.
Yeah.
This is how we behave in this particular
Yeah.
context, and they can call it.
Right. Yeah. Another way to get people invested is, well, another thing that makes people invested in what is happening is a sense of authority.
Oh yeah, we could have a special hat or something.
Yeah.
The marshal.
I think you just, you don't even have to do that. I think you just tell someone, hey, if you're in charge of this, if this goes wrong, it's on you. At that point, you got to pay attention. Otherwise, it's on you.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so we're coming to time pretty quick here.
So let's tie into the other things.
So then the fire starter. So weaving the various pieces together. We're busting up firewood.
Yeah.
Needs to be that way that you spark the flame.
Yep.
So Kyle's gone way, way deep with this, where they're very, I think they build all of their fires with a handbill or
Nice.
some primitive form.
Wow.
So what that forces is more participatory knowing. So I want to see if I can just touch on the gift economy in contrast with the commercial economy.
Yeah.
So I spent $6 and some change on some fire starter at Safeway today.
Yeah.
So that is like prepackaged. There's there's nothing there. It's like I transferred currency, like hard currency we say, or I'll say the particular game, the currency of the particular game. There we go.
True.
So Kyle's opening my mind to gift economy. Not in competition necessarily with a commercial economy, but I'm kind of losing it. Or working in harmony with something like that.
Cooperation.
So the forming, the crafting of
Gifts.
homemade fire starter, so to speak, and gifting that. What was occurring to me earlier today is that the gift affords a discovering, or the potential for a discovering of the realization of value of the gift,
Right.
in a way that a more commercial, formally contractually mediated exchange does not.
Right.
Is what I was. So if you can manage it, I think you got about 30 seconds to put a bow on it.
Okay, I feel like we're missing one, though. We got the fire starter and the gift, but what was the second?
Are we gonna be able to pull this off? Can we change the rules?
Sure.
So we can, I don't know, people are gonna yell foul when they see us do this.
Right.
So, but there's precedent for it. There's like, if you got to tie a game or something, you can say, hey, we're gonna go into overtime. Okay, so overtime right now, we're gonna extend the constraint of time by how much?
5 minutes.
Okay. Here. So now we're really under pressure.
Yeah.
To put a bow on it nicely. So let's take a deep breath. Take it down a notch.
Yeah.
Okay.
The people we want, I think the gift and the commercial work best together when they reference each other. A spark, as you said, in reference to a fire starter, also reminds me of a spark in a person, conceptually. Which is what we want. Like that's the ideal if we're trying to hook someone in. If you can get a spark of interest, of ingenuity, of something that is gratifying and of value to just about every person, I think. So if we can get the spark with the experience that we're providing, and then put a nice bow on the experience by referencing it with a gift that you can look back on, that will provide, I think, the greatest appreciation and the greatest attractiveness of what we're trying to do.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's bringing tears to my eyes. I can't really explain why. The 4th of July as a traditional holiday here in the United States of America is enormously powerful.
Yeah.
And I feel deep gratitude for being raised here. Being born into this is so awesome. And the realization of the value. So there's two senses, at least, to the word realization. There's the realization in the sense that you're making it real, and then there's the sense that you are realizing the value. It's dawning on you. It's rising to your conscious awareness how amazing, how awesome the gift is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's make it awesome.
Yeah. All right.